The Canadian Taxpayers Federation has a simple message for the Trudeau government: no taxation without representation. The Canadian Taxpayers Federation is taking the Canada Revenue Agency to court for enforcing the undemocratic and illegal capital gains tax hike. The capital gains tax hike blows through a fundamental principle of Canada's democracy while also blowing a huge hole in Canada's economy. No taxation without representation isn't just an important principle or a catchy slogan, it's enshrined in the Constitution of Canada. It's Parliament's job to approve tax increases, but the government failed to introduce legislation, debate the legislation, pass the legislation, or proclaim the legislation into law. And with an election right around the corner, it likely never will. Yet unelected bureaucrats at the CRA are taking billions of dollars from Canadians with this undemocratic tax hike. This tax hike will cripple Canada's economy. This is a tax hike that punishes Canadians who worked their entire lives to save for their retirement. This is a tax hike that will punish young, smart Canadian graduates who want to start the next Google to leave Canada and set up their business in other countries. To put it bluntly, this tax hike is a financial sucker punch to the Canadians who worked hard to invest in properties, to create small businesses, and to save for their retirement. The capital gains tax hike will affect more than 1 million Canadians, half of whom earn less than $117,000 annually, according to the C.D. Howe Institute. This tax hike will blow a $90 billion hole in Canada's economy. This tax hike will mean 400,000 fewer jobs. And the Trudeau government has no one to blame but itself for this mess. The government chose not to pass the capital gains tax hike with its budget. The government chose to prorogue Parliament. Canadians should not have to pay for this government's mess. Canadians should not have to pay for a tax increase which never passed Parliament and likely never will. The Trudeau government should tell the CRA to stop enforcing this tax hike immediately. But the Trudeau government has so far refused to do the right thing, despite both the Conservatives and now even some Liberals criticizing this undemocratic tax hike. We at the Canadian Taxpayers Federation are not going to let unelected bureaucrats take more money from Canadians with this illegal tax grab. And that's why the Canadian Taxpayers Federation is launching this legal challenge.